Yo, you listening to JayDBo radio? Did he say that? Nah, well, maybe so. But you still know it's all gravy, though. Around here, sometimes it get crazy, yo. But you know we keep it 100. He hide in the sky, but nah, he ain't blunted. And this here, everybody can't stomach. But trust me, y'all cats want it. It's
Yo,
JayDBo.
what up, world? It's your boy JayDBo coming to you live and direct from Syncopation Studios right here in the OAK. And as always, I got my man Hart producing the whole thing, and then Dev just lays the intro, which I know you love. And of course, we got a lot to cover tonight. I'm going to go through that in a minute. But before we do that, remember, you can always email me at jaydoboradioshow@gmail.com, or you can tweet me at jaydoboradioshow at Twitter. Either one of those ways will get the information to me, and I can talk about it here on the show. But as we just kind of run down what we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about stupid versus racism. That's going to be interesting. Just stick tight. Obviously, this was a big week because Shaq retired, so we'll recap Shaq and his career. We'll talk about J.T. Thomas, a story that really will pull at your heartstrings as it relates to NFL players and then really giving back to the community. And then Mike Brown, really? And then lastly, we'll talk about Scottie Pippen. I don't know what he's thinking, but you're tripping, Scotty. You're totally tripping. And then we'll wrap the show up with a nice summary of what has happened in the first two games of the NBA playoffs. Man, Miami, are you kidding me? 15 points? But before we go there, like I said, we're going to start with stupid versus racism. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to define stupid. Stupid is you walking down the street and a truck full of white folks drive by you and they call you a nigger. Stupid. Racism is when the coach of the football team hides information from the media about illegal activities of the players so they can win games, and then once it's all found out that the coach was lying, they blame the players as if the coach had nothing to do with it, had no choice but to play the players. That's racism. What I'm speaking about is Ohio State and Terrell Pryor. Ohio State's coach Jim Tressell resigned this week with a buyout, mind you. He didn't go out for free, with a buyout, because supposedly his players were selling gear for tattoos and clothes and cars, etc. Okay, that's fine. That's illegal, and you could have kicked him off the team. The question I got for you, Jim Tressell, is why didn't you tell him? Why didn't you report him when you first heard about it? Right? And then now we got guys like Kurt Herbstreit, who I respected, and you got other guys like Chris Spielman saying it's the players' fault because they got Jim Tressell in a bad situation. One player on the team even said he didn't want to talk to Terrell Pryor because of actions of stupid people, idiots, his exact words. Tressell got blamed and had to quit. Are you kidding me? Tressell didn't have to play none of them kids. He knew in April what was going down. He could have kicked them off the team right then and still had his job. What he chose to do was to play those black players so he can win the game, so he can get that $3 million salary he was trying to get. That's what happened. That's the difference between stupid. Stupid is nigga when they're driving by you. Racism is endemic to society when they don't say, wait a minute, hold up. This guy is as culpable as anybody else. Stupid versus racism. There you go. Now, Shaq, after 19 years, one of the greatest of all times, retired. And I tell you, man, you can love Shaq or hate him. I have never seen anybody enjoy life to the level that Shaq has. Hey, I love you for it, Shaq. Every day from the beginning to the end, he had a smile on his face. He was having a good time, and sure, like he said in his press conference today, he should have shot better than 58% from the free throw line. He would have been one of the top 2-3 scorers in the history of basketball if he had done that. But it is what it is. He didn't put it forth the time, and that's what some of him and Kobe was beefing about. But at the end of the day, he was still probably the most dominant big man that we've ever seen, that we've seen in the last 20 years for sure. Nobody could check him. And if he wouldn't have, played till he was 400 pounds, he'd still probably be dominating. But, he's probably 3 years late. But, it's hard to call it quits. I mean, we all remember Jordan. We all remember Akeem Olajuwon, you know what I'm saying, who tried to play that last season. And Shaq is no different. But, hey, Shaq, we're going to miss you. Stay in the limelight, my brother. We love you. J.T. Thomas, again, a touching story. J.T. Thomas is a linebacker for the University of West Virginia who was drafted in the 6th round by the Chicago Bears. Now, there's a young woman in the town. Her name is Jocelyn Level. And Jocelyn is an 8th grader who has spinal bifida. And if you don't know, spinal bifida is a condition that will not allow your spinal cord to develop fully, so she can't walk. She's in a wheelchair. So for the 8th grade prom, she invited at least 6 boys to the prom, and they all turned her down. Well, J.T. Thomas, his little brother, goes to school with this young girl. He heard about it and actually took the time out of his life to call the young lady up and invite her and ask her to go to the prom. Of course, he had his mother involved and the woman and the little girl's mother involved, so it was all clean. But the point of the matter is, in a day and time when we see so much me and I and endorsements and, Terrell Pryor with the cars and the tattoos and, Jim Tressell with his line, all of that in sports, you still have people out there that are really good people. You know what I mean? People come from all walks of life. And JT Thomas, man, we commend you. I hope that they get this labor situation resolved with the Bears. You can make the team, man, because you got a heart of gold. We love you, brother. And then Mike Brown. Mike Brown as the coach of the Lakers. Are you kidding me? That's all you can find with Mike Brown? I mean, he's probably a good coach. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, what he showed me in Cleveland, I mean, you got one of the best players on the planet. I don't know that you're showing me much because it was all a LeBron show. For example, Phil Jackson had a similar situation with Michael Jordan, but with he was able to coach him in a way that he was able to get other players involved and have them play an integral role in the success of the team. Mike Brown didn't do anything. It was like one-on-one with LeBron. I mean, that's obvious. When LeBron left, they lost, 40 more games this year than they did when LeBron was there. So that was all they had. So Mike Brown is preaching defense. Bro, listen, man. I'm happy for you that you got that 4-year, $18 million contract or whatever you got. Because get your money. Get all your money. Because, man, listen. If you think you're going to come in there and all you're going to do to change it up is preach defense and you're going away from the triangle, which they won 3 championships with, man, you better have something better than just defense and rebounding. You better have some offensive skills, some offensive game plans that will display the skills of your players and address your point guard position. Trust me, man, you better do that or you got some real problems. So, and then lastly, as we kind of recap before we get to the summary of the NBA, did you guys hear that Scottie Pippen said that LeBron James is probably better than Michael Jordan? Now, I understand, I don't know Mike personally, but I understand Mike wasn't the greatest guy. Michael Jordan is not the greatest person to hang around with. So I can see Scottie Pippen being a little bit bitter. But let's be clear, Scottie Pippen, without Michael Jordan, you don't go down as one of the 50 greatest players that ever played a game of basketball. So for you to say that LeBron James is better than it could be better than Michael Jordan when he ain't got 1 championship, Michael Jordan got 6, 2, and he got 3 in a row twice. No telling what he could have gotten had he not gone off and pursued the baseball dreams, Field of Dreams, when he was with the White Sox, So, man, I understand you guys may not be the best of friends. He might have rode you, but let's be clear, he rode you on the championships. He made you the player that you were. So for you to sell him out like that, and I'm not a huge off-the-court Michael Jordan fan because I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't know and some of the things that I've heard about. Again, I'm third party, so what do I know? But a lot of stuff that's gone down as like, Jordan, you ain't really the greatest guy unless you buying sneakers. Michael Jordan ain't got no words for you. The point is, Scottie Pippen, come on, man, be serious. He ain't got no championships yet. I mean, now that's going to lead me to my next point. NBA playoffs, if he was so great, how'd they lose that 15-point lead? And with him shooting threes, that was the game of the series. Now, I believe that Miami will win that series. I truly believe that. However, if you think you're going to win that playing one-on-one basketball, you're kidding yourself. Especially when you're not hitting threes and you continue to shoot the threes. You know what I'm saying? At some point, Dwayne Wade had 36 points at the time when LeBron James started trying to shoot 3 after 3 after 3. Why not run a pick for your boy Dwayne Wade and let him get an open shot? The problem is Spoelstra has clearly no control over that team. Because if he had control of the team, he would have said, hold on, timeout. LeBron, come here. Everybody sit down. He would have grabbed LeBron by his shirt and said, man, if you shoot another 3-pointer, I'm going to kill you. You have to coach the team in order for them to be effective. And we know that basketball is run off screens, in plays. One-on-one is not going to get it. On the flip side, though, kudos to Dallas. They never gave up. They stayed focused. And Dirk, man, Dirk. Yeah. I wouldn't have put Chris Bosh on him as the last play of the game. That was a mistake. As soon as I saw Chris Bosh jump out on him on the 3-point line, I said, I know he's going to score. So hopefully they got enough time. I don't know why they didn't. Again, another thing. Spoelstra, why not foul in that situation? You foul early because you got a foul to give, and now you know what offense they're going to run, and now you can play a better defensive role. Spoelstra has no control. I mean, he's lucky that he has 2 of the best players ever to play in the league right now, and then Chris Bosh is also, is a nice addition to that. He's much like Mike Brown. I don't know. So unless Spoelstra comes up with an offensive game plan, it can go longer than it should. It should have been a 5-game series. At least going to go 6, if not 7, because of his inability to coach. So, I mean, that's what I see. Ultimately, again, I see Miami winning the series. They've made it much harder for themselves because they have to go to Dallas for 3 straight games. Remember, this is 2-3-2 now. This ain't the preliminary round. This is the final round. So 2-3-2. Again, I have Miami, but you better get your game tight. So, hey, that's it for the show for this week, man. I appreciate you turning in. Again, at any point, it's jaydoboradioshow@gmail.com. And you can always tweet me at JayDBo at Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. I'll be back next week with more information on the playoffs, and we can do it again. I love you. Peace.